I can recall with great clarity the first day of seminary. It was back in 1993. I had just turned 23 years old and made my way to Washington, D.C. in a little beat-up Subaru. Got out, and there were other men who were unloading as well. There was a beautiful day, actually, that day. The sun was out. It was late August, and we were unloading our items, and we were about to be introduced to the facility as well as to the rest of the student body and so on and so forth. I bring that up because it's important how we begin something. I can remember with great clarity how I began my time in the seminary, how I met so many different men who were studying for the same great gift of the holy priesthood, and we embarked on something new and adventurous and exciting in the life of the church and our own vocations, and who would have possibly known where it all led? However, how we begin something is very important. How I began my time at the seminary set the tone. How I began these relationships with these men based upon something as solid as our faith and our vocations and seeking to do the will of God, it set the tone for all of my friendships that then followed. John, that is, in the Gospel of John, is beginning very carefully, setting the tone for the whole of his Gospel, because he knows that how we begin something is, in fact, very important. And by setting the tone, it's going to help us to discover all that he desires to reveal in his Gospel. What is the tone of John that we see here in this prologue, in this first chapter? Well, it's one which is deep. The Gospel of John begins profoundly. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. It seems more like poetry than a narrative. And yet when we begin to meditate and reflect upon all that's being presented here, we begin to realize John is setting out, embarking upon his gospel with a deep, profound, elevated tone. So we have to take our cue from John. We need to enter into the Gospel of John with high minds. We have to raise ourselves to his level. By beginning this way, he is, in fact, requesting us to approach the Gospel with very high minds, that we might discover the Gospel in the same tone that he intends us to. That, however, means that we have to begin by raising our minds up to a higher level.